What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the vlog. My name is Matthew. Go ahead and follow me on Instagram at MSJ_4times or at Sheila Productions. And today what I'm gonna be talking about is this custom light up SS badge I'm making for the front of my Trailblazer. Let's get into it. So this light up emblem is something I've been thinking about for a long time. I'm sure if you got a Trailblazer, you guys been noticing, or you guys noticed that Trailblazers didn't come with a front SS badge. And I noticed a lot of people adding front SS badges, but they're adding ones from Camaros because Camaros have a little small one, smaller than the ones on our doors, and I believe smaller than the one on our trunk as well. But yeah, they're adding those because they're meant to be on grills. So I think it's like a quick little bolt-on piece. And I wanted to add one, but I didn't. I wanted it to be the same style badge. The SS badge on a Camaro and a Trailblazer are two different badges. So I wanted it to be exactly the same. And then I started toying with the idea of it being lit up. Now I see like SRT, some companies out there make the lit up SRT badge. I couldn't find anyone who made a lit up SS badge, specifically the shape of the Trailblazer SS. So that's what I sought out to do. This is my first one. Definitely not perfect. Here it is. Made it out of acrylic, so black acrylic on the side, but it was painted over. And then I used my sister's Cricut to print out a SS sticker, put it on this white piece of acrylic, peeled it off after I painted it black. You can see the edges aren't the best. Doesn't even line up on this side. I think that's easier to see. Doesn't line up on that side. Super off. I had to drill some holes in the back to get this wire to come through. Added in some bolts. Had to super glue those in place so they don't move when I'm putting this bolt on. Got some lights from, I'll add the description, the link. Did it all, trying to figure out how to make it slim enough but still the white piece of acrylic far away enough so you don't see the actual LEDs behind it, so it just looks flush. The problem with that was when I was putting it all together, everything was moving, and when I was cutting the acrylic did not come out in the same pieces, so I had to sand some pieces down just to get it to seem kind of flush, but it's far from perfect. Keep in mind, this is kind of like my prototype, if you will. Gonna be making more just so I can see if I could get it down right. Obviously it'll work a lot better if I had like a 3D printer or just something else, but still figuring it out. Still going through this process to see what exactly I could do to make it perfect. What are my next steps? Maybe outsourcing someone who can make the box piece for me, and then I could wire up the LEDs and everything. Now the LEDs that I got were either too long or too short, so in this case I couldn't have more than what I needed inside here. So when I light it up, you're gonna see these pieces kind of dead, which means I might have to make the SS smaller. This SS is actually the same size of the emblem that's on our doors, and I wanted it big to put on the grill, but I might have to go with one that, you know, we have on the trunk, similar to that size, just so you don't have any dead spots. But it might still be the same size, just because I do need material inside here to hide some of the wiring and whatnot. So still need to go through that. But next step is, let's go ahead and throw it on the grill. I got some big washers. I don't know if you can see it right there. Some big washers and 2 bolts that are gonna hold it on the other side of the grill. And obviously this is big enough to hold on the other side, or the front side. And let's see what happens. Let's see what it looks like. sun's gonna go down a little bit. My cousin's just getting back. But yeah, let's go ahead and put this in. We're gonna wire it up. I might just wire it up to a switch, and I'll hide it somewhere over here, maybe in there. But I kind of want to do it so every time I press my fog lights to come on, which I do quite often, this will come on. Let's figure it out. I just want to see it lit up though, so let's take it from there. All right, and this is what it looks like installed with all the lights on. Right now I have it hooked up to a switch. I can turn it off and on. Eventually I want to get it hooked up so whenever I turn on the fog lights, it'll turn on too. Let me turn it off really quick. Now it's off. Looks like that. It's really rough around the edges still. Let me turn off the car and I'll turn it back on and show you guys. Alright, here's all the lights off with it just on. As I mentioned before, kind of hard to see right now with all this light, but in person on this side of the SS, where my finger's at, and this way it's very dark. And same thing with here going on. The lights are super bright, but it's just too dark. When I was putting it all together, the clear acrylic part was shifting from the glue, so it made it really hard to stick together. Go ahead and turn off the switch. As I mentioned, it made it really hard for everything to stick together. When I was putting the clamps on, so everything kind of shifted. So when I measured it out as if it was going to be perfect. So the space in between the LEDs and the actual acrylic was set perfectly, so you wouldn't be able to see the LEDs through the light or through the acrylic. But now since it shifted inwards a little bit, you still can see it. But either way, let's go and give you guys one last look. This is what it looks like. This is hopefully what I'll ride around like at night meets with the fog lights on, because I think this look without the headlights is badass. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. Still gonna try to get it down, but I mean it's rough around the edges. Let's see if you can see the reflection. You can see the pattern of the box right there still. This corner is sunken in. You can see this side is not flush at all, and then the paint just all over the place. Looks like it's seeped through under the vinyl sticker I had on here first, and everything. But first one, not too bad. Also, when I was tightening up the bolts behind the grill, I did it a little bit too tight. I started hearing a little bit of a cracking noise, so it just sounded like that's probably going to be an issue at some point in time. But I made sure when I went ahead and I should actually put some double-sided tape behind here just for extra precaution. But when I went ahead and wired it up, I pulled the wire kind of hard and tied it around one of the pieces under the engine bay, so if the bolts were to back off and it were to get loosed, it won't fly down to the floor or anything like that. Next thing I got to worry about is if the glue is actually going to hold up. I used super glue. It was pretty strong right when I put it on. I just don't know how it's going to do in weather or sunlight. But this is all part of the R&D process. Yeah, hope you guys like the idea as much as I do. Still going to be working on it. Don't know how long it's going to take me to perfect this, or if I ever make some to sell. If you guys know anyone who actually makes something like this, let me know, and I'll definitely reach out, because obviously that's going to be so much easier than me actually making my own, if someone actually made one. Also, just one last thought, the SS itself is going to have to get smaller. The lights that I bought, as I mentioned before, don't come all the way to the edge, and that's why it's dark, so it's going to be slightly smaller. Right now it's the same size as the door SS, but if I shrink it down to that size, it should be good to go. But honestly, I'm making it myself. I can make it any fucking size I want, but still got to go through all that troubleshooting. Actually, before we go, let me show you guys what it looks like during the daytime. This is what it just up close. As you can tell, as I mentioned before, it is not perfect at all. You can see all the imperfections up close. From a distance, it's good. Still see this kind of red right here. The box is not perfect. It's kind of off. The paint, I touched it right here when it was still wet. That's what it's off. And this is when it's on during the day. Still kind of hard to see, or actually you can see it a lot more here. but this portion is very dark because there's no LEDs on this side. At night it looks slightly better, but still very dark. And right here it is dark because there's, once again, no LEDs on this side. Still work in progress, like I said, so stay tuned for when I actually get it all figured out. But that's what it looks like so far. All right, till next time.